Hi there, Linda Goodall here. In this video, I'll show you how you can create curved fills in your embroidery designs using Embrilliance StitchArtist Level 2 and above. Curving and shaping the flow of stitches in a fill is indeed an advanced feature, so I was really surprised to see it in Level 2. Different programs handle curved stitches differently, so let's just see how it works in StitchArtist. The design you see here on the screen has all these different curved fills, and it really adds dimension to this design. Now this is an applique design, and it was intentionally digitized with these light fills so I could use it as a mylar applique, and the mylar would peek through the stitches. So we're going to do a simpler version, and then you can experiment with something more complex later on. So let's look at a basic one. Here we have a basic ornament, and this curved fill gives the illusion of a sphere instead of a flat disc, and it's simply because these stitches curve slightly. So let's see how to do that. So in a new document, I'm going to make sure, I need to make sure I'm in StitchArtist Level 2 there, and I'll go to Library, and I'll pick a shape. I'm just going to pick a circle and enlarge it slightly, and we'll apply a fill to it. So here's our starting point. So let's change that to a curve fill, and there's our curve angle there, but you really kind of can't see what we were seeing on that ornament, so we need to make some more adjustments. I'm going to change the density to 15 points to open it up. I'm going to change the underlay, actually get rid of the underlay, because we don't really need it for an applique. We're just using it to hold down the mylar. Go back to this, and we want to travel on the edge. Now I want you to notice what happens here. See how they're all straight along the line, the outline of the artwork? Now this is probably not a good idea if your density is not real open like this, because it will put stitches right on top of each other pretty much, and it could cut your fabric, but we're okay here. So now I'm going to adjust my curve, because if we went back to this one, see how the curve goes down and this curve goes up, and all I need to do that is move this point, and that's looking pretty good. So as long as these outside lines stay outside my shape, I'm good. Now what if I want something more interesting? I can double click on the line and start doing cool stuff like this. And how neat is that? Notice how the density is a little tighter there, and it's more open here. So you can do some pretty interesting things. Now, don't get too carried away with this, because you could end up with some really bunched up stitches. It's not probably going to be a big deal with this because of our very open density, but if you had a normal fill density, that would be really packed in there. So you can get carried away and do things that you shouldn't do, but hey, we're not stitching it, it's just on the screen so you can see what it looks like. So play around with this, see what happens, and test sew some and see what happens there. You really don't know how things are going to go until you test sew them, but this is a very cool technique. It can add interesting things to really basic ornaments like this one, or if we go back to this one and I click on these shapes, you can see how I have a curve and I have two internal points on each one to kind of contour the stitches to that shape. Pretty fun, huh? So with StitchArtist Level 2, you can really start to unleash your creativity and have a lot of fun. And don't think that you have to sit down and digitize something that is a real project every time you play around with the software. Just sit down and play around and see what you can do, and then think about, well, how could I use that? What interesting thing would that be useful for? So you can do it on very simple designs, you can do it on more complex designs, and you can take a simple design and make it a lot more interesting, or put it on a really complex and creative design and just take it up 3 more notches. So go ahead and play around, have some fun, and think about how you might use it in your designs. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.